Hey guys, and welcome back to the Popcorn and Joysticks podcast, episode 8. And you might be able to tell by the very beginning of this that is my voice. It's James. This is me. Hello, welcome to Popcorn and Joysticks
Hi,
podcast.
James.
And that voice you can hear over there is Holly.
Hello.
And unfortunately today, we're a member down.
We are. Theo can't be here, unfortunately.
We are missing our third spot in the
Can
JHT.
you just edit him in on the video? We need a cardboard cutout for each one of us who isn't able to make it.
That would be very, very awkward. We could have literally a cardboard cutout of Theo here. But yes, unfortunately, Theo is not feeling too well at the moment. So he's had to cancel today's podcast.
So we're winging it.
So we are literally winging it. Theo is literally like
Gonna be
the
cringing.
glue. He is the glue that holds us together, keeps us on track, makes us sound all nice and professional and, talking about...
So if we bounce around all over the place, that's why.
Yeah,
Theo isn't here to keep us on track.
Yeah, we apologise for how unplanned and unscripted this will
We also
actually
haven't
be.
planned a trivia. We might have to wing it at the end.
I was going to say that, unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to do a trivia because if I ask you a question, who wins? I don't know. Maybe I'll ask you a question at the end of the day and we'll start our own. We'll start our own that we can actually answer, apart from Theo's horrendously difficult trivia questions. If you have no idea what we're on about, previously in our podcasts, Theo always asks us a question, a trivia time question, where me and Holly have to try answering and the winner gets a point, and we're kind of doing a running tally.
Sounds easy.
Sounds very easy, but Theo always chooses very difficult and obscure questions, and me and Holly fail badly. It makes us look like...
But it's always questions you should know the answer to, and we just don't.
It always revolves around something that we've spoke about in the podcast. So yes, technically we should know, but...
We never do.
We never do, and we're normally completely clueless. But anyway... Enough of the introductions of the podcast. Welcome back. Hopefully you've not missed us too much because it has been a couple of weeks since we've last put a podcast out.
It has.
And quite a lot has happened in those last 2 weeks. I have actually made some notes, Holly.
Oh my gosh.
Theo will be proud. So, we have quite a bit to talk about today. We've had, since the last podcast, we've had a big PlayStation State of Play announcement. What do you call it, an announcement?
Just a state of play.
Just a state of play. And if you have no idea what a state of play is, it's basically a showcase which was live streamed a couple of days ago for us, where they basically announced new and upcoming sort of games on PlayStation.
Yep.
And there's a hell of a lot to talk about. We're not going to go into depth about everything that was announced then on State of Play, but we do have a whole list of things from Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil 8 Village in VR. We've got a very kind of sketchy game called the Callisto Protocol, which I did want to kind of touch upon. Street Fighter 6, and Holly was very interested in something called Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
And you might notice that Holly's actually wearing a Final Fantasy t-shirt at the moment.
But I am wearing a Final Fantasy 16 t-shirt.
Do you want to talk about the t-shirt?
It's a Final Fantasy 16 t-shirt.
Well, there we go. If you look at my t-shirt, I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt because since the last podcast...
There's been a Star Wars celebration at that. I think it launched on that day.
It was.
Obi-Wan was launched on one of the days.
Friday?
On the Friday. And we've been lucky to have 3 episodes since then.
So yeah, we were slightly confused because they dropped the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan on the Friday of Star Wars Celebration. We weren't at Star Wars Celebration, I should probably point out.
No, unfortunately not. But next year.
We did watch a lot of the Star Wars Celebration.
We did.
But they did drop the 2 episodes on Friday, and then I just assumed that they were dropping the episodes every Friday. And then Wednesday came along, bosh, episode 3.
Which was a nice surprise.
So we're going to start off today's podcast by touching upon Obi-Wan.
Yes. Mild spoilers will probably happen. So if you haven't seen it...
There was a lot of hype around Obi-Wan. So if you've not seen at least the first 2 episodes by now, they've been out over a week.
Yeah, you might want to skip forward a little bit.
A week and a half, I think they've been out now. What day is it? Sunday. It was out last Friday. This has probably come out till Monday. Yeah, it's been a while. So, if you're probably not really worried about spoilers, because I assume most people have seen.
But just a warning, just in case.
Trigger warning.
Spoilers.
Slight spoilers. So let's start off today by talking about Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, then.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. First episode. We got to see the first 2 episodes straight away.
Yes, it was nice to have 2 back to back. That kind of made it slightly better. I don't like things that are weekly, personally.
Yeah, and I always feel like with the first episode of anything, is just kind of getting into it. So I like that you had 2 straight away to fully like get immersed in it. But no, I loved it. I thought it was great. I don't really know what else to say. I think I just love the Star Wars universe. I'm not particularly picky about details. I just enjoy the universe and try and take it at face value for what it is. And I know some people might have had issues with certain things.
Yeah.
But I, on the whole, really enjoyed it.
It is a slight shame that Theo isn't here, because I think we could have dived quite deeply into it. I think we will do that maybe when the series is finished, because I think there's only 6 episodes. So there's only, what's that, another 3 more episodes, and then I think it's all over. So I think we'll probably do like a full-length spoiler cast style once it's all out, when Theo is here. But yeah, obviously before it came out, we actually did quite a big bit of a podcast talking about our kind of wants, hopes and stuff from Obi-Wan. Comparing it back to that of what you wanted and what it was actually like, how would you put it? Was it what you wanted? Was it different? Was there surprises?
Yeah, I didn't expect Leia to be in it. So spoiler. We mentioned spoilers. I didn't expect Leia to be in it like how it is.
Yes.
So I think that was a nice surprise. I think the actor that plays Leia is incredible. That little girl is incredible.
Yeah. I thought she I don't even know what the word is, but she embodies Carrie Fisher so well, considering how young she is and how she plays a very vocally strong character.
Yeah.
Someone who's obviously got this legacy, and obviously this is the beginnings of, this incredible character which has been with us for
it's
40
believable
plus
that
years
it is her. Yeah, I think they've done that so well.
I liked that they didn't show or say who it was. It was almost like little tidbits of who it was, and then straight away you kind of knew who it was without knowing who it was.
Yeah, you just knew, even though they didn't have to say it.
Yeah, and just her as an actress or an actor is, I think she was fantastic, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that was the most surprise.
Especially in the first episode, the sort of the big surprise. And I kind of get why they've done it. Well, personally, I think it's because of coming off the back of Mandalorian and Grogu, of having a main character kind of babysitting a small character. Like
it works
the whole
well,
Mandalorian Grogu. Now we've kind of got Obi-Wan and Leia. I personally thought that they could have. I thought they were going to imply that it's going to be something more to do with Luke, but obviously they couldn't do, because Luke obviously introduces himself many years later. I think there is where people are picking up on a few things, that there's kind of slight contradictions of, did Leia actually know Obi-Wan? Because obviously when we go to the original Star Wars, the wording of how she said, like, you used to work with my father. Yeah,
this was something that I didn't even pick up on, but then after we watched a few things about it, people mentioned it, that she was almost like in the originals, she didn't know who he was. Yeah. Whereas if she had spent this time with him, you probably might have recognized him, but my justification is probably, well, she knows him as Ben in this. She's 10. And then so you jump forward and she knows him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I don't remember all the people I met when I was 10. Admittedly, no one saved my life when I was 10, so that might imprint in your brain a bit more.
Being a 10-year-old kid, if you met someone and then 10 plus years later you met them again,
them with a different? Yeah, I don't know.
There's quite a big disconnect and a big grow up of your years.
Yeah.
That
I think this is kind of what I meant with like, I love the universe and I'm not particularly picky on like what's canon, what's not, with the little details. You kind of just, if you're making a story over like 40 years, there's going to be little bits that you've got to ignore. So I'm okay with all these tiny little tweaks that might need to be made to the original story if we get more content from it.
I think that's the thing for me. I like, again, like Holly just said, I love the world of Star Wars and I love to get lost in that world.
Yeah.
That I do classify myself as a fan of Star Wars. I am no way means a mega fan and know every in and out detail and wordings and phrasings and how this kind of contradicts that and the other. For me personally, I feel like there's a lot of people who are like me or like us, that we just like to watch stuff. We like to be entertained, especially in a world which is dire at the moment. The last few years has been kind of awful. That having this escapism to a fantasy world is fun, and it should be fun. And yes, there might be slightly things that kind of trip up and aren't quite right. And I think there's some things that could have been done slightly different or slightly better as a whole, in especially the first episode. But overall, it's an entertainment piece, and it's basically Star Wars is designed for kids, for children,
for families.
For families. It's not meant to be this like super dark and gritty and in depth in all of those things that would make it like a full on like adult type film. Yeah, that you go back to the prequels, the sequels, like whichever ones. There is cheese in it. Like there's a lot of cheesy bits.
Actually, there's cheese in all of them. And even when I go back and watch them, like, I forgot how cheesy they are. Like,
but that's why you love it. Because there's the kind of the oddness, the quirkiness,
the awkwardness,
in some of like the one-liners and stuff. But they're like that's
Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what gives it its kind of I don't know, uniqueness in a way. And I think now, because of Disney and the amount of money which is being pumped into it, people are almost kind of thinking that it should be this like grandeur thing, where actually it's still meant to be kind of fun and entertaining. And in one piece, which was in episode 1, which was the chase scene with Leia, a lot of people did not like that scene of her running away and being captured, basically.
Oh, okay.
By Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which in a way, I think to me that's a slight disappointment.
Which bit did they not, or did you not like that? Was it the fact that the little kid could outrun all these big adults?
It was a little bit kind of slapsticky in a way, like, oh, she slid under a branch and then they're like, oh, there's a branch in the way and I have to go around. Like, it felt very, I don't know,
Star Wars.
No,
I know what you mean. It was a bit awkward, and I wonder whether, I don't know, maybe they'd had a certain amount of takes and they were like, you know what, that'll do.
Yeah, I think the first time we watched it, it really stood out, but we did go back and rewatch episode 1 and obviously watch that whole scene again. And I think second time round, it wasn't actually as bad.
Yeah.
Because, again, we kind of knew what to expect.
You prepared yourself.
Yeah. Obviously, like, I don't know, it would have been nicer if it was more real, but at the same time, it's 3 fully grown adults chasing a young girl. Like, I think there's a fine line of how you can portray that to make it kind of family friendly.
Exactly, yeah. And I think they did, it was fine. Yeah, there were some awkward bits where you could tell he kind of ran into a tree a bit awkwardly, like... Yeah, but it was fine. I didn't have an issue with that. I had more of an issue in episode 3 with the tunnel chase scene.
Okay, yeah.
That bothered me a bit more, if I'm honest.
So there was a kind of weird timeline. I don't even know how
I can't remember her name, but...
the lady who's in Game of Thrones.
The lady who's in Game of Thrones, who is with Leia. In the tunnel, and then they separate and she says to Leia, right, you go on ahead, meet the pilot, and then she leaves, and somehow She manages, and then the third
Obi-Wan.
sister is at the entrance of the tunnel all around the same time. And somehow the lady from Game of Thrones, who I forgot her name, ends up being with Obi-Wan just like that.
Yeah.
And Leia is still running through the tunnel. And somehow the third sister gets to the end of the tunnel with the pilot before Leia. Now, I get it's a network of tunnels, but why did the lady from Game of Thrones just not take Leia the quickest way? If there was indeed a quicker route that the third sister managed to find, because she had never come across that tunnel before, is what that implied. Or maybe she had been there, but she hadn't remembered it, or... Yeah. I don't know. I just had an issue with how I feel like they probably cut a bit too much out in the edit.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been a few other sort of scenes of the tunnel, of like how they got around.
Yeah, because it just didn't seem to make sense of how... It just didn't make sense to me.
How the third sister was, at the very beginning of the tunnel in the...
And then the other lady is already with Obi-Wan, and Leia is still... running in the tunnel. Yeah, something which wasn't quite right. Probably.
Yeah, I think they could have... I get why they wanted the third sister to be at the end, so it was almost like she thought that was going to be her escape, and then it's like...
Yeah, but you probably just needed like a few seconds cut of like just showing a map or some sort of like that there was multiple tunnels and that she knew a shortcut or there was a quicker way.
Yeah, there was one scene of Leia just like being confused of not knowing where she was and went back on herself or something.
Just something like that to say like, oh, she got a bit lost or just something, because the way that was edited to me... I could look past it, but it was just one of those, watching it, I was a bit confused of, hang on a minute.
Yeah. I mean, so just going back briefly to episode 1 bit with Flea, I think that he looked like a really cool character, and I do like Flea as a person. It's a shame that we're not going to see any more of him.
I know. I was hoping he was like in it for
because
the series.
I feel like he was kind of a cool character, which a shame we're not going to see more of. How do you feel about the Inquisitors?
I think they're badass. Although
do you care about them in this, or would you rather?
I think she is awesome. The third sister.
Yeah,
I think she's awesome. So I'm notoriously bad at recognizing people, and you told me who the main Inquisitor is, and I still think you're lying to me because I don't recognize him. Yeah. He's from Homeland.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's Quinn from Homeland.
Quinn, again, I don't know his real name. Really bad at names. And I don't see it. I can't see it. He's had that much prosthetics. I just don't even recognize him.
I'm going to put money on it that he's not actually dead.
Okay.
I think because... he looked like a pretty badass character, and there's no way that he could just die that quickly and easily. Yeah. At the beginning. Yeah. I feel like if we're going to make predictions...
He's coming back.
He's going to be mad. He's going to be super mad. And I kind of think that the third sister is going to change sides. That's my... prediction. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, because I did see some rumor that it might have been her at the very beginning of the first episode.
Yes, I think it's meant to be her. Yeah, so she was being trained as a Jedi, and then the Sith basically came and wrapped them up and turned them into.
So you think she might turn back to where she was meant to be?
Yeah, because I feel like that she's basically being. She is like the one who knows and understands and is ahead of the game of like Obi-Wan. Like, she knows how to catch him. She knows where he's going to be. She knows how to entice Jedi.
Yeah.
And like the Inquisitors are almost holding her back in a way. And I think that was, when she lightsabered him. Okay. That I feel like, she's obviously super bad.
She's playing by her own rules now.
She's playing by her own rules, but I think that she will run into Obi-Wan, and I'm
there should be a good fight scene.
There's going to be, I don't know, I could be completely wrong here, but I feel like she and Obi-Wan are then going to be on the same side, because she's going to be against the Siths because of they're always against her and they're always pushing her, and she's already killed one of them.
Does that mean she has to change her lightsaber color?
I mean, she could just
add
a slight, different crystal in it to change the hue of the red. But just make her own. Just make a different one.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, you can't just like swap sides. You got, hold on a minute, I got to change my crystal.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Has it happened before?
I don't know.
I don't know, because once you've gone to the dark side, it's like, how can you be light again?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. But anyway.
Well, it's a good theory. We'll see if you're right.
Okay, finally.
Yes.
Darth Vader.
Yes.
Hayden Christian.
Yes.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah, it's Darth Vader. I mean, I think he's just Vader. He was just murdering people in the street. I mean, it's just exactly as like you remember him.
It was like, talking about family friendly. That
I was
was
thinking
kind
that was
of
a
like
bit like,
dark,
oh my,
man.
yeah.
When he just
that
goes
was
up and he
dark.
just basically like force chokes and snaps necks of
Yeah,
children
it was
in the
like,
street.
oh my goodness,
I was like,
yeah.
if you can't do a proper chase scene with Leia, but you can go break and snap necks.
I don't actually know what the age is. Is it a 12? Like, are they all 12s? I don't actually know,
possibly.
but I thought that was like, oh my gosh, Darth Vader's back.
He was ruthless, especially episode 3 when he finally, again, spoiler, meets up with Obi-Wan and basically tries to burn him alive. Is like,
It was
moly.
savage. Yeah. No, I've really enjoyed all 3 apart from the tunnel chase scene. No, I've really enjoyed all 3. I can't wait to watch more. I tend not to watch them with a critical eye. Like I've said though, like I just want to enjoy them.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to enjoy Obi-Wan's journey and see where it takes him.
I find it slightly difficult watching anything because obviously I come from a filmmakery background. So I kind of watch it with two mindsets, 2 brains.
Yeah.
One is the filmmaking side of like, oh, how did they do that? Or that editing was weird.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of the filmmaking aspect of it, but also I kind of want to turn that side of my brain off and just be in awe and have entertainment.
You don't want to criticize every little thing.
Yeah, because it could be quite easy to be like, oh, that was a weird shot, or that CG doesn't quite look right.
Yeah.
But actually, I kind of want to, especially because it's Star Wars and I love Star Wars, I want to just be entertained and enjoy it. So I want to see more of Vader. I want to see him being a badass, basically. And I would love to have like a Vader spin-off now.
I'll be
a
surprised
Vader
if there
series.
isn't. Like,
I think that would be so good, of like how he basically from
this timeline, but from Vader's point of view.
previous, like before, it's basically the 10 years from episode 3 and Obi-Wan.
Yes.
I want to see those 10 years of how he gets pieced back together and turns into Vader.
I'll be surprised if that's not on the table or even in the works already.
Yeah, I think that would be so cool. Like, because they could make that really dark and really gritty because it is like the rise of evil, basically. I think that would be super cool.
Yes. Yeah, I hope that's the thing. That
would be pretty sick. And we'd love to hear like what your thoughts are. Obviously, listening to this right now, what do you think of Obi-Wan? Predictions of where it's going to go?
Predictions. If you're a super Star Wars fan, have you noticed anything that we haven't? Like, we love listening and hearing all the other things that we've missed because, we might not know all the minute details. But so, all the comments, please, on anything you think.
And I'm quite looking forward to Theo being back on the podcast so we can actually dive in, because I know that Theo is probably sat at home right now going...
raging that we missed something.
He's going to have a lot of things to say about this, and we've not actually spoke to him about it because certain things we don't even chat about until we're on the podcast to get our real thoughts and real reactions. So I don't even know what he thinks of it, if he enjoyed it, if he didn't enjoy it.
I think Theo is a lot more critical of certain things, so I think he's gonna have a lot more opinions, so I'm kind of sad he's not here.
It should make the conversation quite fun.
Exactly,
because there's nothing worse when you have everyone just agreeing. And
it's a shame we agree, really.
Yeah. So, moving swiftly on.
Yes.
Away from Star Wars now, back over to State of Play.
Yeah.
Which was a couple of days ago now. We had some...
Sorry, drinking tea.
We had some quite big, heavy hitters in this. I think this was a very good State of Play,
I really enjoyed
personally.
it. This was one of my favourites from a long time, I think.
Yeah.
State of Play.
I wasn't thinking it was going to be overly great, if I'm perfectly honest.
Oh, okay.
I think, wasn't the last State of Play just felt a little bit of a letdown? Or did to me anyway. Like,
I think there wasn't many big names in the last one. It was a lot more smaller teams. With this one, I thought there should be some big announcements. I saw so many rumors like the day before, people making like fake, what's it called, like a run sheet or something. I saw so many fake ones of those. So, like, people claim that this is real and this is what's being announced. And I was thinking, well, you're probably going to get a couple. And some people, there were a few actually.
So when it started then...
to be fair, I did see that quite a few people said it was going to start with Resident Evil 4.
Really?
So those people on the bingo card, big tick. I didn't know, because you don't know what's true on these things.
Of course not.
But I did see someone did say that it was going to start with that.
And they opened it with the release date, which is a big, bold move, basically.
It is, but I almost think, like, you don't commit that to memory. Like, I don't know if anyone would ever have remembered that date because you don't know what it is yet. And then you get halfway through the trailer and you're like, hold on, when was this coming out? So it is a bold move, but I guarantee most people won't remember that until they realize what it is. And then...
So, Resident Evil 4 Remake was obviously the very first thing that they announced on State of Play. That looks scary.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I've never been a huge Resident Evil fan. I hate to say it. It's fine. I've played a few. I was more of a Silent Hill person. But as I've gradually got older, I've got less into horror. Because
I can't sleep at night.
Yeah, 15-year-old me would probably have been like so excited, really hyped for it, even though it's not Silent Hill. But now I'm just like, oh, you know what? I quite like sleep. And I don't like to be scared anymore.
This does look very, very good, though.
It does. I would probably say that I'd watch someone play it, like stream it.
Yeah, I'd happily watch it. I don't think I can bring myself to actually physically playing it because I cannot make those choices of opening a door and going to a screaming something downstairs in a cellar.
The last one we played was 7 and we played that together and it was
We played it on a live stream and it was...
Oh my goodness. It's not made for us.
I just freak out.
I'm pleased it's happening for other people, but I probably won't play it. Same with 8 in VR.
I was just going to say, especially because they've announced that
absolutely not.
PSVR 2 is going to have Resident Evil 4 Remake on it and Resident Evil 8 Village as well.
I didn't even play 8, not VR, so I'm not going to play it VR. I'm glad it's coming to VR, and I'm sure it will be incredible for those people who are crazy enough to play it.
I don't know how you bring yourself to put a VR headset on to scare the bejesus out of you.
I think that's the thing though. Like when I was younger, I was so into horror games, horror films. I was just into it. So I feel like, yeah, younger me would have loved it. But now I'm like old. It's not for me anymore. I'm okay to live without it. And the same goes for the other horror things they showed. Are we going in order or are we skipping around?
Well, we're going in order.
Okay,
so
I'll pause that.
So yes, we started a lot of State of Play off with PSVR 2 stuff and announcements. So like we just said, Resident Evil 4 Remake is going to be in PSVR 2 and also Resident Evil 8 Village in PSVR 2. Another one in PSVR 2 was No Man's Sky.
Yes.
Surprise or no surprise?
I think I'm in the minority here. I used to love No Man's Sky when it was basically a game where you didn't do anything. I loved that you just bimbled around finding some planets, finding some aliens to talk to, mining some stuff and nearly dying because it's so cold. I liked that game. And now it has so much stuff in it. I haven't gone back to it. So yeah, I am interested in the VR, but I might play it. I feel like I should go back to it. If we did get PSVR 2, it'll be interesting.
Is it... I haven't even looked. Is it a separate game or is it just going to be like a free download or is it a paid thing?
I don't actually know. I honestly don't know.
No.
I'd expect it to be... Well, I don't think it'll be free.
Probably not.
But I don't actually know, if I'm honest.
No. I mean, I think it would be cool being in like the spaceship and flying around and that type of stuff, but actually on the planet running around, is that like motion sickness?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they've got on with the motion sickness.
I was going to say, I feel like any kind of PSVR, VR2 game now is going to have sort of motion sickness.
Yeah, if you're not in a vehicle, I don't know how they've combated like walking around.
Like running around in Resident Evil. Like, you're going to feel sick playing a horror game anyway, let alone in VR.
Maybe that's their theory. If you just genuinely feel sick because you're so scared, you won't notice if it's motion sick or just fear sick.
I think it'll be both for me.
Yeah, but you won't notice. You won't know which is which. It'll all just be a nauseous
feeling. If I played it, I would literally have to strap a bucket around my chest, so I just go, blah.
Oh, what an image.
Oh, but a VR2 game, which I do really want to play, and that is the Horizon one.
Yes.
That looks so good. I mean, it's called Call of the Mountain. Mm-hmm. Slightly strange that you're not Aloy.
No, I can't remember the character's name.
I'm very surprised that they're bringing in a
But it does kind of make sense in a way. Like, we've seen a lot of Aloy's story. There's got to be other stuff happening.
Yeah, I guess
like,
it's kind of
world building. She can't be the only one
trying
to save the world or trying to, like, she can't be the only one who's got an adventure. So I kind of like that we've got some other people, and you never know if there's going to be a third Horizon. We might get different characters sort of mingling in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I quite like it that we got someone new. The thing that does bother me is that you have, in the VR, you have the hands with no arms.
I think that's done for a specific reason. I'm sure that was to do with like the studies of VR, that it made it less nauseating.
The uncanny valley kind of
effect.
That I would just like arms.
With hands. I think the arms was the bit which started to weird people out. Because if you started looking around, they like elongate.
How long is your arm going to get?
Yeah, and where the elbow joints are and stuff. Just having hands and picking things up.
Your brain just puts the rest of your arm in.
Yeah. It's the way your brain works. It's like when you're looking around, you never see your nose, but your nose is always in your eyesight. Like your brain kind of builds things or like puts things away.
I guess that's the thing. We're watching it as a trailer, whereas when you're playing it, it's probably completely different.
And I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be like a first-person shooter style, climbing rocks and I assume running around. I thought it was going to be more like you're on rails, as in when they originally showed it, you were like in the boat. Yeah,
you couldn't leave your track.
So I thought it was going to be that you're going to experience the world of Horizon, on this boat, and you can't move, and you've got to take things out, like we're saying in No Man's Sky, like being in a ship or whatever. That it's when you start moving around in the 3-dimensional world is where it starts to become nauseating. So in this, there's in the trailer, you're physically climbing ladders and climbing up over rocks and mountains.
I'm intrigued to try it. Jumping
with your ice pick things.
I'm so intrigued about PSVR 2, and I think I would like to get it, because when PSVR was released, it's not like there was really many AAA games that like big names that you would go, oh, that'll be awesome. It was a lot more smaller games to play. Yeah. Now they're actually releasing like Horizon and Resident Evil. It's like, okay, there's going to be a lot of games like to start with to play on PSVR 2.
There's a few big heavy hitters, because that's the thing, we haven't really had many PSVR games come out for a while. I mean, there is some, but it's
probably because they're all working on PSVR 2.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing. And the first iteration of anything is never going to be where it should be. It's always like the second or third generation of stuff. So do we even have a date for PSVR 2?
I don't think so, no.
Well, I mean, so Resident Evil said March the 23rd, 2023.
But then it said
on PSVR 2.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that it's coming out at the end of this year. Do we think it's going to be out by Christmas? Surely it's got to be.
I'd like to, but I honestly don't know.
It's been in development for quite some time, and it's been a while now since they're
probably a bit cautious because of like the issues with like the PS5, like the PS5 stock. They're probably like, we don't want to launch it too soon and then no one can get it.
But then in a way that's kind of
it spreads it out a little bit
in a way, because it's like the there's a word, isn't there, a terminology of like, if something's hard to get,
you
builds
want it
the
more.
hype.
Yes.
So
scarcity adds value.
Scarcity, scarcity value. So in a way, like if only a select few people have it, builds that hype around it, and people really want it even more. Then if you like, if you're going into your local supermarkets and they've got hundreds of them piled up and no one's buying them, it's like,
it's true. I don't know. I'd like to say yes, it will be like a November release. It could be like a cool date, like the 22nd or the 11th, 22. Could do something fun with it, but
22, 11, 22. But
I don't know, because it's just been a weird time. So I'd like to say, they'll get it out for Christmas, but not sure.
Possibly. But a game which is coming out fairly soon, actually next month.
Oh, yeah.
Is something really caught Hollie's eye.
Stray.
Yes.
We get to be a cat.
Yes.
I'm super excited for this game. I've been waiting for a release date for a long time. But in this trailer, we did get to see a little bit more of, I think, what the gameplay is going to be. And I'm worried about the stealth aspect.
The stealthy cat aspect.
I am not stealth. I try to be stealth when we play Horizon. Normally does not end well for me. So there was one scene in the Stray trailer where there's like a robot that goes by and you're hidden in a box and then you have to like jump out after they've gone by. I can see me failing doing that.
Don't hit jump. Oh crap, hit jump.
And then just like generally just running away from things. So as long as the stealth is optional, like the reason why I couldn't play The Last of Us is because you just had to be stealth, and I couldn't do it.
My brain doesn't allow me to be stealthy.
I am not stealth. So as long as the stealth is optional and you can just panic run when you get it wrong, that'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't want to watch
trailer,
my cat die multiple times.
I was going to say, in the trailer, there was quite a lot of running cat as well.
There'll be a lot of running cat.
And just exploring cat rather than everything's got to be like, oh, there's a light, I've got to hide. And
I don't mind a little bit of that, but as long as it's like, I don't want to watch my cat die too many times.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they can make it too visual.
No, I hope not. But I'm super excited for it.
Cats Have 9 Lives. Like, is that going to be part of it?
Hope not.
It's like 8 more to go.
Oh, no. We'll find out soon. It's out on the 19th of July.
Do you think you can design your own cat?
Could you imagine?
Or is it just going to be like, here, have the ginger cat?
I never usually spend time on any character creations. I would spend a lot of time designing my cat, though. I'm usually like, right, under 2 minutes, design and go.
Yeah. Hair, bosh, bosh, bosh. Eyelashes, bosh, bosh, bosh.
Yeah. Give it some sort of bob and green eyes and I don't care about the rest. That's about all I go for.
But if it's a
cat, however.
I don't think there's going to be cat development.
It could be done in an update. DLC.
Cat return.
Yeah, there's not a lot to say. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say when it's out, but I'll definitely be getting that on launch to be a cat.
July the 19th.
July the 19th.
Weirdly, that's exactly 1 year after we bought this house.
It is, actually. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much.
Can't believe it's been 3 years since we had this house. Crikey. Anyway, moving on to another very, very scary game. The one which I did mention just now, the Callisto Protocol.
Yes, this was one that I was a big fat nope.
Holy moly. It looks incredible.
It looks too good, and that's why it's a definite no, because it looks amazing, but it looks terrifying.
It looked absolutely terrifying. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's basically a sci-fi horror game.
It did have Dead Space vibes, I thought.
Complete Dead Space vibes. The graphics looked gorgeous.
Yes.
Freaky, creeping around a spaceship, a sci-fi world.
There's like mutant.
With mutant zombie kind of, not even zombie, but just like...
Yeah, I
don't even know, what do you even call them? Scary mofos.
Yeah,
that's what
it was like,
them.
that's some sort of... I really don't know. I have no idea on the story. The story probably doesn't matter in that game. It's probably just intended
It's basically a run.
Yeah.
Get away from these freaky things.
But it does look awesome.
It's annoying because that type of game really catches my eye because I love sci-fi.
Yes.
But it's horror again, and I just get so scared with horror games.
We'll have to watch someone play it.
I mean, hopefully Theo's like, yes, I want to play this game and I want to play Resident Evil 4 Remake, because that means we can watch Theo play and watch him freak out whilst we're hiding behind pillows.
Or not freak out. It would just be really casually.
Oh no, he'd be cool with it. He'd just be like waltzing through.
It's like the bit in the trailer where he's like sneaking by some dead looking thing and then the eye just opens. I was like, nope, no thanks. Looks great, but no.
But that really, really gave that like claustrophobic, like being in those like thin, narrow corridory tunnels of like, you know, side scooping away.
It had so much atmosphere.
So much atmosphere. I mean, I would, like I just said, like to play it, but I don't think I could bring myself
5 minutes in, well, that was fun.
Something which looked completely original, completely different, which looked very, very cool, was Rollerdrome.
Yes.
Rollerdrome.
Yeah.
Which kind of stood out to me in a way because of the art style of it. Kind of, how do you even describe it? It was almost like comic booky.
Yeah, I don't
even know how you describe it.
It just had a very unique style and it was a very different game.
Like blocky colour. It looked very cool. You're on rollerblades.
Yep.
Roller boots.
Yeah, either or.
Whatever. 4 wheels on your feet. And you'd basically scooch around like skate parks or a rollerdrome, I assume, shooting people.
It's very unique. I don't think I've seen a game like it. It does look fun.
Awesome. It looked very, very fun.
August, I think that was out.
Possibly. I don't know if I wrote down the release of that. No, I didn't.
Some point in August, but it is very intriguing.
It's very intriguing. I think what made it stand out was the art style.
Yeah.
If it was just like, it just looks real, you're on rollerblades and you've got guns, be like, I don't know. But because of the art style and the way the explosion looks, is kind of like 2D but 3D. It's basically like Tony Hawk Pro Skater with guns.
Yeah.
Which
it's right up your street, I think.
Seems fun. I'd love to see what a kind of co-op version of that looked like.
Yeah, because they only showed it looked like one player.
Kind of game aspect of it. I didn't quite know what you were doing. You're basically just running around on rollerblades, shooting people.
Doing some tricks.
Doing tricks and maybe collecting gold
What
stars.
else do you need?
I mean, nothing.
No, I was going to say, I think that's basically it. It's kind of like Tony Hawk's. You just have like your areas and then you have something to do in each area. It could just be like, here's your arenas and you've got to like try and get the something or other best score, all the gold, shoot all the people in each arena, maybe. It doesn't need any more of a story than that.
Is that type of game appeal to you?
I mean, I'll probably play it. Yeah, I'll give it a go. It's not my normal thing.
Yeah.
The T-shirt I'm wearing gives away what my normal thing is. I mean, I'll play it. It does look really fun. I would definitely give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll be especially interested in what co-op is, I think. If you could have like a bit of competitiveness with that game, I think would add some fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more kind of the game aspect. Yeah, co-op versions of that would be super fun.
I think that would have a lot more replay value than if it's just single player.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a Rocket League style 2v.
Yeah, so it's just got some replayability to
something.
it, I think. Yes, yeah.
Kind of fun, fast-paced and...
Yeah, like a good party game, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what it's like. It might be completely different. It might be very story-driven.
You might be very wrong here.
And then next up was Street Fighter 6.
Yes, it was.
I'm slightly confused about that because was it open world?
It did look a bit open.
That would be very unique, very different.
Yeah, it wasn't really clear in the trailer whether it was.
It was kind of like you're kind of waltzing around a city, punching bins and finding people to fight. Then does it go into the like side by side fight aspect? I couldn't work out. Was that?
Yeah, I couldn't work it out either.
How that kind of worked, but to me that made it stand out slightly more than just a normal fighting game.
I kind of let fighting games just pass me by now. I was really into them. Wow, probably 20 years ago. Probably when the originals were out. But yeah, there isn't really a lot new going on with them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so that kind of gave it a new sort of aspect.
Exactly. I'm more interested in that because there might be another dynamic. I'll be more interested to see how that plays out.
And the graphics and stuff did look very, very good.
They did look awesome.
Super cool characters. And if they are doing that kind of open world side of it, I think that's, I'm all for that. I think that looks great.
It's just to change the genre a little bit, make it a bit more fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is not just, button bashing the whole time. That it's, whether it's almost like more of a menu system, as in like you're in a virtual world and you're kind of going around trying to go to your next fight. It's similar to like kind of Forza Horizon or something, that you drive to the race.
Yes.
Then you drive to another one. I don't know, maybe it could be that kind of aspect of it, which would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Who
hopefully.
knows?
Hopefully.
That's the thing with this, that we could be completely wrong on all of these, because this is all like...
We haven't played it yet. It's all
we
a
haven't
trailer.
played it. All you're seeing is like a minute long of something. How much is like in-game capture compared to just...
What was your brain interpreted?
Yeah. How do you perceive things? And it's almost like how you watch them as well. Like if you're almost not in the mood for it and you're just seeing it, it's like, it's some open world game or whatever, but actually it's completely not. Should we go on to the last thing that they announced?
The very last thing. They say the best to last, in my opinion. Final Fantasy 16, I presume.
This over to you, Holly.
Well, I think this is the tricky thing, is because you were not into Final Fantasy. So I don't really know what to say that you will understand.
Well, I don't have to understand, but people listening probably want to hear your thoughts, being a massive Final Fantasy
Well,
fan.
I haven't really looked into this game very much. We had a trailer, it feels like forever ago. And I've only watched this one twice. So...
The trailer.
Yeah, I've only watched the trailer twice. So I can't really deep dive to what I think, but they seem to have shown us that it is, well, what we expect. It's not turn-based, it's very active. And it seems like, well, they're called summons in Final Fantasy VII. I think they're called icons or something similar. The really big phoenix, the big dragon, for those of you who don't know Final Fantasy VII. It seems like we can almost, they're on our team, we can embody them and then they kind of fight each other. So I don't know if it's going to be a case of like, you have to fight them and then... Like in other games, you fight them and then they become on your team type thing. Because there were scenes where like Phoenix is fighting, I can't remember now, Bahamut or something. But it does seem that there's not really much of a party, which I don't know how I feel about. Like it seems to be just like your main man, Clive.
Clive?
Yeah, interesting name choice.
His name's Clive?
His name's Clive.
Amazing.
Yep.
I mean, what a badass name.
Yeah, not a name that I would have expected. We did know it was Clive. It does kind of seem to be, just from the menus, that it's Clive, and then you can almost switch between your icons. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I think they can fight with you, for you. I'm not really sure, but that's the impression I get. But they did definitely make a really big thing about them, because I don't know if you remember at the end, they showed like Phoenix, Titan, Odin, all of those. And all the different elements. They've definitely made a real big thing that they are a big part of the game. So I don't know if that's all of them or if we'll see more. Because one that stood out to me that wasn't there was Leviathan, which is like the big snake. I'm sad if that one's not in it because that's one of my favorites. But Ifrit, like they all look absolutely amazing. Like Ifrit looks amazing. We saw a lot of Ifrit in the other trailer. So I'm super excited if they've incorporated these more into it because they just look amazing. Like Shiva looks incredible, like the ice crystal woman. Yeah. You might know her as, for those who don't know Final Fantasy. They just look amazing. So I'm super excited to see more of those, but I am slightly sad if there's not a party. I love a party and a job system, so if that's not in it, I'll be a bit sad. But I have a very similar view to Final Fantasy as I do to Star Wars. I just want to enjoy it. I'm very open to the direction it goes in. I just want to enjoy it, if you know what I mean. The only one I couldn't handle was World of Final Fantasy. That's the only one I haven't played and the only one I haven't enjoyed. Apart from that, I've loved them all. So I'm sure I'll love this one just as much, whatever they choose to do with it. And that's kind of all I have to say, really, because we haven't seen a lot. That trailer was pretty frantic. It did show some battles, but it didn't really give a lot away.
It showed a lot of, like, men sat on thrones.
Oh, yeah, and there's all of that, yeah.
What's that about?
Not sure. It's kind of very, like, it's more of a medieval kind of theme. So I guess it's going back to, like, the royals, like Final Fantasy 15 had a bit of, like, royalty stuff going on, but that was kind of a lot more modern. This seems to have gone, like, a bit of a throwback to a medieval vibe.
Because Clive is a medieval name.
Well, medieval might not be the right term, but...
Ye old Clive.
Yeah, I don't know. Clive's a bit of a unique name, but then they've all had different names. Yeah, I'm super excited, and we've got a launch of summer 23.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll stick to it.
Are you going to say that Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be out before or after 16?
Oh, after. I don't even... Part 2?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not going to be out for another 10 years.
Is it going to be out on the PS5?
I'm not sure. No, I don't really know about their teams. I'm sure they were completely separate teams working on things, but part 1 was out in 2020. I can't imagine it's going to be out next year. I would probably say the year after, if we're lucky.
So 24.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I just think, I can't imagine why they would release 16 and 7 Part 2 in the same year. I'll be very surprised unless it is like one is summer, one is holiday. I would just be very surprised if they picked the same year. It might be January 24, but I just can't see it.
It's going to be a year apart, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can't see... We've seen nothing of Part 2 yet, so they're going to tease something, and it's probably not even going to have a date.
They're probably not even going to tease it till summer next year.
That's right. Well, we may get like the very first teaser at some point this summer, but I don't think we'll even get a date or a year. It will just be, we haven't forgotten.
Yeah, here's a sword.
Here you go. Yeah. It will be something like that. I will be so surprised, and I don't expect it.
Yeah.
For at least, I'd like a little trailer just to keep the hype up. But nope, not expecting that anytime soon. That was one of the rumours on all of the fake things that we saw, that they were going to have Final Fantasy Remake Part 2. And I was like, it's not happening. No. It's not yet. So no, we'll have to wait a little bit longer. And then there's also rumours that Final Fantasy 9 is being remade or something. So I think they're working on a
PlayStation 10.
Yeah, probably. So no, I think we just have to make do with 16, which I'm totally happy with for now.
Nice. I'm glad about that.
Not that means anything to you, and I don't know if any of that made any sense because I haven't really processed it in my brain or spoken it out loud. So I'm sorry if that made absolutely no sense to anyone.
Well, I think that's the thing.
Because it made sense to me.
With these podcasts is where it's speculation, we're guessing what the future is going to be, especially with state of play stuff and predicting what's going to happen.
Yes.
You know, we're not exactly in the industry of gaming or anything. That we're very passive, guessing and putting our kind of thoughts towards stuff.
We just like stuff and pass comment. That's about it.
Yeah, that's basically it. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah, today. I think that's enough. We've rambled enough.
We've spoke a lot. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Obi-Wan, the series. What do you think so far? Mm-hmm. Where do you think it's going to go? You know, for the rest of the series, is there going to be multiple series? Let us know in the comment sections.
Yes.
And what did you think of State of Play? What are the new games which were announced at State of Play? Which ones are you looking forward to playing? Was there things that was announced that we didn't even speak about? Let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And unfortunately, we're not going to end it on a trivia time.
No.
Because Theo is not here.
We'll do 2 next time.
Oh, no. Got some making up to do.
Yeah.
So without further ado, thank you so much for watching and listening to today's podcast. I'm James.
I'm Holly. Thank you very much.
Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.